Hi, I'm Amber, Master of None, and I wanted to introduce myself since this is a brand new YouTube channel and to share my philosophy of life. I have 5 children and a husband and a full-time job, and my philosophy of late has been that will do. And I have had to adapt to that because I have a tendency to be a perfectionist. And so I'd look at these pictures on Facebook and on Pinterest of beautifully decorated homes and super clean floors and like furniture and decor that's intentional, where like people go out and they choose it and it's exactly what they want. And meanwhile, my house is decorated with thrift store finds and yard sale stuff or things that people are getting rid of because they aren't in style or they're falling apart. And I'm like, I can fix that and put some paint on it. I mean, that'll do. And I love to create things and to make things pretty. And I always have a project going. And sometimes my projects are a little ambitious, and I realize part of the way through that maybe I don't have enough materials to finish, or I'm just running out of steam. So it serves its purpose, like the function is there, but it's just not quite what it's supposed to be. But for now, that'll do. My kitchen, ideally I would go to sleep with a clean kitchen. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. That's what all of the YouTube people that I follow do. But I can't always do that. Sometimes I go to sleep with the dishwasher running and then there is a full dishwasher load's worth of dishes on top of the counter. And so I know that once the dishwasher's unloaded, it's just going to get filled back up and run again right away. But at night, I need to go to bed, so hey, that'll do. And I would say like 80% of the time I get it cleaned. And then there are weeks where it's more like 30% of the time. And if I'm being honest, I've gone through periods of life where it's only clean 10% of the time. But hey, I mean, depending on what you've got going on, like you may have to settle with just 10%. I say, hey, that'll do. My bed, making your bed is really easy. And as far as clean house habits, that's one of the easiest things to do. And I'm getting better. But a lot of times I walk past my room on my way out the door and I'm like, oh, bed's not made. That'll do. And I go to bed a lot of times with the living room a mess. Not a mess. Well, sometimes it's a mess. But usually I have stuff like Barbie shoes, Legos, game pieces, couch cushions occasionally. But, I'm like, it's just, I'm ready to go to sleep. So, hey, living room, whatever room I'm on, that'll do. I'm not super great about my kids' homework either. Really, right now, mostly they just need to read. And reading is important. And so we push that, and we're pretty consistent. But they're supposed to read for 20 to 30 minutes each. And in order to really ensure that they're doing that, I kind of need to be listening to it. And so sometimes after 15 minutes on the second child, and I still got another one to go, and Chris is reading to the other ones, but I'm like, you know what? It's been 15 minutes. That'll do. Sorry, teachers. I'm not trying to raise dishonest kids, but sometimes we just have to settle. I have this timer for my kids to brush their teeth with, but I don't actually have one that's 2 minutes. I have one that's 30 seconds. So I tell them, you gotta flip it, and then you have to flip it 3 more times. So you've got the sand running through a total of 4 times. I know sometimes they're in there for like a minute. They definitely couldn't have been brushing their teeth for that entire 60 seconds because it takes a little time to put the toothpaste on the toothbrush. But I'm just like, it's 8:15. That'll do. When I'm caught up in like a project, woodworking or, painting something, I have been known to forget about supper. And Chris will be like, so what'd you have planned for supper? And I'm like, honey sandwiches and popcorn. Maybe cupcakes. Because sometimes I have cupcakes left over from orders. I make cakes on the side. I mean, they have occasionally eaten chips and salsa for supper. But I'm like, their tummies are full. They're gonna partially brush their teeth later, so hey, that'll do. I'm never gonna be a mom that has it all together. I'm gonna forget to sign papers, and I accidentally filled out preschool registration for the wrong child a few weeks ago. They sent it back and they were like, this should be filled out for Ashton, not Ava. Ava's already gone through preschool. Okay, my bad. They whited everything out for me, so all I had to do was rewrite it. But I mean, that's the kind of stuff I do. I would love to hear what you guys have that philosophy with, what you can settle for, and encourage you to find things in your life that maybe you see as a priority right now, but don't really have to be. There are things in my life that I can have that philosophy with, but I can't with my relationship with my husband or, raising my kids, my relationship with God, my work. Those things are priority. And I used to add other things to that just can't be a priority right now. I don't want to see my kids graduate and be like, hey, you know what? They didn't die. That'll do. There are weeks where that has been my philosophy. Sometimes you just get in survival mode and you're like, we will live through this. We're not really thriving at the moment, but we're going to get through. That'll do. But in general, I try to have my priorities straight. And Kitty, that's my cat. She's meowing. And even you may have seen these pictures that I've put on Facebook of things that I've made, and those things that I make, once they're finished and they're beautiful, they are picture worthy. But I've moved the mess to the side. The rest of my house, especially after working on a project, isn't picture worthy. But I'm like, hey, this has been my priority right now. So as for the rest of you, that'll do. Meaning like items in my house, not like family members. But I have worked really hard to identify the things that are critical, that need my attention. And those will come first. It's been a process. But you know what? I'm not perfect. So as far as I am right now, at this moment, all of my progress, I would say that'll do. All right. Thank you.